What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Sweat It Out podcast for today's Vault segment, followed by my co-host, Bryan Gorrita. And Bryan, let's start it off strong.
So the Supreme Court has temporarily blocked Texas social media moderation law. And basically, this is supposedly CNN is saying this, so I don't know how accurate this is, but they're saying the order is a loss for Texas. The state argued that it has HB 20, which prohibits large social media firms from blocking, banning, or demoting posts or accounts, does not violate the First Amendment. So they're saying that blocking and banning and demoting and basically like just removing accounts does not violate the First Amendment. I think this is something here that I read that, and let me see here. I think this was an emergency thing that the tech industry basically forced this immediately, like this temporary block on this. So what do you think about all this, man?
So basically, they're trying to prohibit the freedom of speech.
Yeah, man. You know what? We talked about this before. I think that the social media platforms have to get like decentralized, bro.
Yeah. I think that it has to get to the point where it's like, it can't be one way for certain people and then another way for the other. Where only one voice has a stronger positioning than the other. It just can't be like that.
Yeah, I think you just got to remove the algorithm altogether. I think the social media should just be like a platform where everyone just talks.
Floating.
Exactly. Like in normal life. In normal life, it's not an algorithm that you live in, that people are just getting thrown to you.
Yeah.
You accidentally fall into
That
stuff.
if somebody throws a swing at you, you can fight them back.
You can fight them back. Your digital avatar.
Your digital avatar. You can fist fight your avatars.
Exactly. So here, I don't know, man. I think that this could be, it sounds crazy, but yeah, remove the algorithm altogether. Make it better, and if people share it and it makes sense, then it's going to get promoted. If not, don't let the algorithm dictate that.
Yeah. But here's the thing, if you look at these big tech, software and social media companies, they're very, very one way in the sense of they're very the same, and they're very one way on making sure that you only hear one side of the spectrum, which is a problem. And it's always against the other side, where the other side, when they come in, it's a problem. And they want to cancel that. But on this side, what says is right and what says goes. And there has to be, if there's going to be a regulation, then there needs to be a regulation on that side as well. If you want to regulate and block, you have to have regulation and blocking on yourself too. It can't be on one side only. It has to be on both, if that's the case. Or like you said, decentralize everything.
Everything's just confusing, man. People are just walking around. People are shooting right now with the guns, with the violence. It's a weird time going on. We're in a war. Our president, I don't even know what's going on. Like, everyone's talking about that he has dementia or something's going on with him. I don't even know. It's like, out of all the people that we have in this country, out of all the great, brilliant minds, all the great companies we created, our leadership here in this country has completely diminished. It's trash. And it sucks because, we live here. We're the future. And to see what's going on in the manipulation where our generation doesn't even trust these social media platforms. We don't even trust the news outlets. We don't even trust probably each other. And there's so much, people want to say that Trump started all this. And you know what? To an extent, he brought out things that weren't very pleasant. The way he conducted himself, all that. But look at the media now. After the fact, he's no longer in the office. Look at the things that they're doing. Yep. They're giving you information when they want to give you information, and then they chop everything up. And
even the spokespersons for the president, the spokespeople are terrible.
They're terrible. So how are we the leaders of the globe, of the world? And we have our leadership right now that is so a joke. Everything is so fragmented. There's no real direction. Look at gas, man. Look, and this is another.
Didn't go $8 in California.
$8, and this is the issue that I have with that. So you're putting all these laws for EV, all this technology. The country does not have the infrastructure to support all these vehicles. So, how do you shut down our vital resources that we have? Because we produce a lot of oil in this country. So you're going to shut that down. Go energy, and I have no issue with EVs. They're actually more efficient than cars.
Yeah, no, me either.
They're better. And it costs less. Overall, an electric car is a more efficient vehicle than a gas combustion engine. That's like a fact. The issue that I'm having is they're pushing all this technology. They're pushing all these different things into our society. We don't have that there. Yet they want to go on social media and block and make this like a thing. And we have bigger issues going on. And I think that our generation needs to get together instead of just being like, hey, I don't like this at the moment. Everybody starts posting about it. Then it gets a little bit of spotlight and then disappears. And people forget about it. It gets lost in the news current. Mm-hmm. So what's going on in Texas is something that people should be aware of. They should stand up, and there should be some voices here, because I feel that, like you said, like a lot of people are being shut out, and they feel that way.
And it's one way. It's a one-sided thing only.
And it feels that way for a lot of people. Yeah, man, it feels that way. It feels that way.
That's a problem. And now tying in with some of the stuff of social media, you have the other problem where it's like, even going back to, let's say the President Biden, they just did a scan on his account. They said practically most of his followers are fake bots. What does that tell you?
Everything's BS, bro.
Everything is manipulated. Everything is forced. It's perception.
100%. It's all forced.
So you're telling me that more than half of our president's social media followers are bots?
Yeah. It's
that's not even talking about the other politicians that are out there or other people out there.
Yeah, man. The ones that really run the show is, the establishment, these corporations, and in some extent, yeah, rightfully so, because they're donating, giving all this money to these politicians. And at the end of the day, like, the American public needs to realize who is being beholden to, who's the real ones taking the wheel. And yeah, corporations, there's some corporations that stand by the people and they support, but at the end of the day, everything here is a money grab. It comes down to dollar bills. And even what's going on with the freedom of speech, where, to some extent, the Supreme Court, who knows what's going on behind the scenes there?
Yeah, who knows? And at the end of the day, it's going to be to their advantage, to their play, to their agenda, to their wants, to their needs, to what works best for them.
Yeah, bro, we're all numbers at the end of the day. They sell our information. We log in. Even this pod that we're doing, YouTube's grabbing our data, selling it, flipping it.
Totally.
And whatever. But I want to flip some of that money into this bank account because that's what I want.
That's it.
That's what we need to do, man. We need to start flipping. This is our segment, so start flipping some of that dinero over here, man.
I know, man. I know. I'm telling you, it's just crazy because, what happens too is you get a lot of these companies, these big tech companies too, that, they will fund these politicians. They feed them, and these people in the government, they take care of these companies that take care of them, and they take care of each other.
Bro, think about it. This guy, Vesky Ventura, I think that's his name. He was the governor of Montana or something like that up there, Wyoming. Who knows? I forgot already. That guy was a Navy SEAL, then was a pro wrestler, and then got into some acting a little bit, and then jumped and became the governor of that state that I said, which I'm not too sure if it's the right one. But if you guys know, drop a comment.
What's his name?
I think it's Jesse Ventura.
Okay.
I think so. He's now he's bald with like a little ponytail, but the guy, he made a statement that stuck to me. He's like, why do people raise millions of dollars for an elected position for a seat that only makes $150,000? But yet they generate millions of dollars just to get that. It's the power.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's the power, and it's unfortunate, but hopefully, let's see how this pans out here in Texas, because it's gonna have ramifications for the rest of the country.
And just a little side thing, because when you said this guy Ventura being you said ex
Navy SEAL, yeah,
Navy SEAL wrestler. I was thinking of now because you got this guy, what's his name, BJ Penn, the UFC fighter, the ex-UFC fighter. He's now running for governor of Hawaii. Did you see that?
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. I have no idea what he stands for or the policies or whatever. But you know what? If he thinks that he can do change, go for it. We need more people like that, everyday citizens, people who are speaking up, standing up. They're not scared, putting their voice out there, just like we're putting our voice right up here, saying our opinions, what we feel, what we think, enlightening millions of other people that we might not even know, thousands. One day we're going to have millions of followers. Yeah. And an audience, but the seeds of tomorrow are sowed today.
The good thing is we have access to more than before.
100%.
Where people before were a lot more constrained, and had limited opportunity, where now people have more opportunity because the internet doesn't care. The internet doesn't care. The internet is dictated by what the audience pushes, right? Again, in social media, there are some now, they're manipulating some of that, of what the audience chooses. But as far as the internet as a whole, the audience is going to dictate what they want and what they don't want.
100%.
And that opens up the playing field a little bit, you know? And I say a little bit because you see these companies who are manipulating certain shit and stepping in there and blocking shit and doing this was it's fucked up. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, compared to before, you have more opportunity now to step up, to be able to speak, to be able to have a platform, to be able to gain traction, a following, to be able to rattle up your own stuff.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's curious to see where this thing ends up in the courts, but, you know, I'm choosing for the freedom of speech side.
Yeah.
First Amendment, baby.
All day.